Welcome back to another underground RuneScape adventure video where I investigate suspicious activity on RuneScape. Today, I want to solve a mystery once and for all. Why has a player named Rickley been standing in the same place seemingly 24/7 for the past 360 plus days? Let me give you some context. In the Verdant Valley on Fossil Island, there is a player in World 330 named Rickley. 11 months ago on Reddit, someone posted, "Has anyone seen this guy on World 330 during bird runs?" And it's a skulled player in PKing gear. Under the Reddit post, there are a ton of theories. Someone says he might be kidnapped and only has access to RuneScape but no keyboard, and he's trying to communicate something with items he trades over to random players. Someone very cryptically said some stones are better left unturned. Someone said he'll trade you random collections of items like Marintil tar and maybe even 100k cash. Most people say he refuses to speak to them. And on Reddit 3 months ago, someone posts about Rickley again, getting even more upvotes. Looking at my tip-off email, I have gotten 6 tip-offs about Rickley so far, dating back to June 16th of 2021. To be honest, I assumed the worst, that maybe he was in a luring clan and scouting players, or there was some sort of bug he's been abusing for a year straight. I just walked up to him and straight up asked, "Why are you standing here? I'm just curious." And he responds, "Holy shit, no way." And then the only thing he says is, "Can you PM me?" And we proceed to add each other on Discord. Did you guys catch that during our conversation? Right as I walked up, Rickley lost his skull, and a few seconds later, he equips the Amulet of Avarice to re-skull and switches back to the Fury. Seems like bizarre behavior. So I messaged him on Discord and he agreed to talk to me. Rickley?
Rickley.
Hey, you're here!
Hello.
Okay, first of all, how long have you been standing on Fossil Island?
Okay, so I believe that I started standing there in June of 2021, so just shy of a year.
And on average, how many hours a day have you been logged into the account Rickley on Fossil Island?
Well, since I spend most of my free time near a computer, I can pretty much always be logged in, so I'd say probably 8 hours a day.
We're gonna solve this mystery right after a word from the sponsor of today's video. Getting a package in the mail is a great feeling, which is why I'm happy to announce the sponsor of today's video, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering boxes of top shelf goods from under the radar brands, and it's free to join. They purchase 90% of the products in boxes from small businesses, many of which are based right here in the US. Based on your preferences, you'll get a box assigned to you, and before it's shipped, you'll get a preview of what comes inside. You can decide if you want to keep it, swap it for a different box, or skip the month entirely for no charge. You only pay for what you want. All the boxes have around $70 in value, but you pay a fraction of that price. Now, Bespoke Post sent me a few of these boxes to try out. First, we have Smoked, which lets you infuse homemade drinks and meats and cheeses with a smoked wood flavor. It comes with the hickory chips, a culinary torch, and a dome to trap the smoke in. Another kit I love that they've sent over is Concentrate, which is an at-home cold brew coffee kit. All I have to do is dump ground coffee in the filter here and let it sit overnight to wake up to some great cold brew coffee. So to get 20% off your first box, click the link in the description and enter sirpugger20 at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/sirpugger20. Here's the big question. What are you doing there?
Back when I started, I was actually PKing on the account, and I needed to run my Iron Man a bond, and my Iron Man was at Ammonite Crabs, just past Verdant Valley. As I was running through there in that PvP gear, I just thought this would be such a cool place to have a fight or something like that. So I spent the rest of that night just pretending to be a PKer on World 330, and I noticed that a ton of people immediately started responding to it. They were all asking me what I was doing. They were telling me they were reporting me, assuming I was a lurer. And then I decided to just see how much attention I could get if I just stood there as much as possible. I wanted to make people think that I was doing something suspicious. So I wanted to make them think that I was like a bot or a lurer, or a lot of people thought that I was hunting Sea Engineer. I wanted to get, posted to Reddit, which happened really fast. And then I thought it would be a great goal to get into one of your videos without ever breaking one of the rules of the game.
Okay, and why were you skulled?
The skull was actually an idea that my friend had. I was pretty much asking him, what stuff do you think I could do to make myself more noticeable and even more suspicious? And he suggested getting an amulet of avarice. So the only point of the skull is that it makes me way more noticeable. It makes me look a lot more suspicious.
And please tell me you were doing other stuff while you sat here.
Oh, absolutely. So I was playing on my Iron Man, and then also I played a lot of other games. Like I played Rocket League and all that sort of stuff. It seemed like a worthwhile grind. Like I was looking at it as like a grind. Like people told me I was wasting time, and I was like, what do you mean wasting time? It's RuneScape.
That's a great point. Yeah, I guess you play RuneScape how you want to play it. It's
right.
a create your own adventure. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm glad to have busted this mystery.
Yeah, of course. I'm super happy. I can't believe that it actually happened.
I went back to check Verdant Valley to make sure Rickley wasn't still there a few days later. And he wasn't, which actually made me kind of sad. Now let's talk about one of the crazier bot farms I've ever seen. It all started with World 250, and this is actually a RuneScape 3 bot farm, but it's so interesting I wanted to cover it here. Somebody noticed that World 250 had over 200 players in it. If you didn't know, that's actually very bizarre. Usually there'd be like 40 players in it. Well, this specific player who sent me this tip-off actually investigated and found out where the bots are. He found hundreds of bots at Clan Wars running to the bank and back from the high-risk PvP portal. All of the bots running back and forth are level 3 and have basically no stats trained. Obviously, I hopped into the portal to spectate what was going on. What I saw was bizarre to say the least. There are a few level 72s with rune 2H swords like 5 break 1535, and they seem to be mass killing a stack of the bots coming into the portal. And when I say mass killing, I mean they've already gotten 52,000 kills. There's also a random level 3 with a bronze dagger kind of off to the side, which turns out is one of the hosts of the Clan Wars match. So I'm guessing they're off to the side just to make sure that someone's always in the clan war so it doesn't end when one side kills another. I can't stress enough how quickly these level 73s are killing the low level bots. The kill tracker is going up between 15 and 30 every 2 to 3 seconds. Clearly these bots are transferring wealth somehow. And that's the end of the road. The bots have no stats, there's no way of knowing what activity they were doing or if they're abusing some sort of bug. Except I was so curious I messaged the anti-cheating team at Jagex about it to figure out what was really going on. The anti-cheating team gave me a good lead. They said these bots were dying with beer in their inventory. If you go on the RS3 trade wiki, you'll see that if your account has never been a member, you can't trade more than 25k. But you can only trade 25k over once an hour. Now there is a whole section on how to get around that on the wiki. One of the alternatives is using the wilderness. When you kill someone in the wilderness who has this trade restriction, if they're risking at least 25k, they drop 25k cash. So how does beer play into it? Well, it is 1,607 GP in RS3 for a beer. And if you go to Port Sarum in free-to-play worlds, basically every free-to-play world has about 2 bots buying beers over and over again from the bar there. They buy the beer for only 2 GP each and it's worth 1,600 GP. It's a really good free-to-play moneymaker. What we're seeing happen in Clan Wars is that massive bot farm muling their beer, which turns into gold. Assuming they transferred 25k every time one of the bots dies, we can actually see exactly how much money they've muled off based on the kill count in the Clan Wars fight. These bots' 55,600 kills can be extrapolated to 1.4 billion GP muled. If you converted that to old school RuneScape GP, that's a little bit less than 200 mil, which is a lot of GP for a free-to-play bot farm. For a long time, I've been wondering how bots are created so quickly, especially bots with high requirements. For example, at Zulrah, Jagex bans hundreds if not thousands of Zulrah bots every single day, and yet there are always more. So I looked into it. In fact, there are services discords that service large orders from botters. This specific discord I joined had 70 active workers and 324 open tickets. It's a pretty big marketplace. Here's one of the main requests some of the workers were working on. Accounts with 45 defense, 75 range, 75 magic, 45 prayer, regicide and animal magnetism quests completed, a major arena 1 cape, aka it's an account made to bot Zulrah. Here's the important part. The customer is expecting to need between 100 and 500 accounts, and these workers are only making these accounts for $18 a piece. If the botter got his full 500 account order, he'd be spending almost 10 grand on ready-to-bot Zulrah accounts. I found another request with something very similar for Vorkath accounts, although you need to complete Dragon Slayer 2 and 200 quest points, so these were $80 each. One of the payment methods for these services was Bitcoin, which means I could easily track the inflow of money to the Bitcoin wallet. In the last 15 days, the wallet has received $5,400. There were 5 or 6 other payment options as well, but that does imply this service's Discord is raking in tens of thousands of dollars a month. What's kind of confusing to me is where they're getting their workers. If you look up the popularity of searching RuneScape in Venezuela, it's been declining rapidly and is back to like 2008-2009 levels. Obviously, buying and selling services like this on RuneScape is against the game's rules and can get you banned. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. We're on track to hit 350,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And remember, if you see anything of interest or suspicion in game, you can always send it to sirpuggertipoff@gmail.com.